because all of us have other jobs that we go to during the day. I run a business and a nonprofit, but I will say that I have given way more than 40 hours a week to this job.
I mean, I see all the events that we do.
I know it's hard not to, because I feel that I wasn't involved before and I didn't know who all the council members were, because when you're just trying to put food on the table and you're just trying to make ends meet and raise your kids and live life, you don't have the time to follow up on all the things until it's happening to you. So as a business owner, I started to see things. People were using drugs in front of my store. I was getting robbed more often. The city was trying to find me for putting a little sign out front. And I was like, wait a second, this seems backwards. What about this guy that's pooping in front of my store? So that's what inspired me to run. And I started to see our city kind of decline a bit and stores close. And I kind of wondered, you know, what is making it so challenging for businesses to stay open? And why do we have so many homeless people in Santa Monica compared to other beach cities? And so as I started to look into it more, I realized, like, as you get involved, you got to pay attention, because local policies are what affect you the most, your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
It's really easy to point at 30,000 feet above, but you have less of an impact there. I'm not going to, everyone should vote, and you should definitely push your concerns up. But, you know, writing a postcard or getting on social media and complaining about something at the national level is not the same as showing up to City Hall, speaking for 2 minutes, emailing your council members. They should be in the community responding to you. And I do my best. I am not perfect, and I can't get to everybody. I meet with people who disagree with me. I meet with people who agree with me, and I meet with people who are indifferent and aren't engaged, and I try to convince them to get engaged. So my whole goal with running was to be an accessible person, and I view my role as somebody who can take what's happening in City Hall, make it digestible for everybody to understand, including myself, and then get people engaged by doing that and not convincing them one way or the other. I have my opinions, and not shutting someone out for not agreeing with me, but rather saying, okay, I see you. You feel this way. I feel opposite of that. You should get involved and understand how it works. Don't just point fingers and shift blame. This is a community effort. The community discloses to us what they would like to see happen in the city, and then we set policy. We hire the city manager, the city attorney, and the city clerk. The city manager, though, manages over 2,200 employees. He hires the chief of police, the chief of the fire department, and he manages the department heads who make that policy come to life. And so I think people need to understand that we do have the ability to set policy, but you need 4 people to do that. So you need a majority on council to agree on that policy. And then to the extent that you see it roll out in the community, the CEO of this organization called the City of Santa Monica is the city manager. And it starts there and it trickles down. So the city manager is the most powerful position in the city. And then there's the department heads and whatnot. But even like the chief of police or the fire chief, right? Like the tone is set at the city manager level. The political tone is set on the council dais. And, you know, I'll just say it. Some would say it's no secret. It's 6-1 a lot of times right now because I have different views on homelessness, affordability, and housing development and public safety. But I'm super excited that we have a city manager that has prioritized clean and safe, because that is something that I focused on when I ran, and I came in hot supporting the police and the police supporting me. I'm super proud of our police department. I mean, I'm not just saying this because we're sitting here, but we literally have people who grew up here. We literally have the most diverse police department, socioeconomically, all the things. And whenever we do a swearing in, I am so impressed to hear how the previous jobs that were held by our police officers are teachers, engineers, marketing directors. Like, they just come from all over. It's not your typical, like, recruitment out of Krav Maga.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody's not, like, slamming people down to the ground. That's not what's happening here. And so that's why I defend wholeheartedly our police department, because I feel that we have set the example for so long. And so being up on the dais, I came on during a time when everyone was still really crapping on the police, and I was a loud voice in support of our police department. And I think things have shifted and the community is backing up police and they're saying, we need clean and safe. And in order to do that, we have to support our police department and let them do their jobs. Because I think our police has always done compassionate policing. But there becomes a point where, is compassion just aiding and abetting folks staying on the streets? And that's not good for them or the community. And so that's kind of like the influx we're at now. But I don't know. I just went off on a tangent.
Yeah. No, well, let me bring you back a little bit. Because you had mentioned before when you talk to your community members that you want them involved instead of just posting on social media. What does getting involved look like? So I'm a community member and I have an issue with.
Think of a good one.
I know, right?
There's something happening right now on Ocean Avenue.
Let's say a new building coming up or
a development.
Yeah. And let's say I have an issue with that. How do I get involved?
That's a good one. So that's a big one. There's a lot of those, right? Like, I see this big development and they find out about it when it's too late, right? There's a notice saying that a permit notice, you'll see the photo, like what's happening. So development goes through a long process. There's also boards and commissions. And a lot of times these development projects will have to go through these hearings first. And so if you start looking up the boards and commissions, there's the Architectural Review Board and the Planning Commission. These are folks that are community members. Some of them are professionals in the field, architecture, engineers, developers, and just community members that look at projects in the scope of California law, right? And advise council whether or not they should approve, where they have the ability to approve or disapprove something. I will say, though, when it comes to development, California is taking away local control, so that's a tough one. But if you're concerned about something going on in your neighborhood, whether it's, all of a sudden there's a community that's seeing an influx of folks in their alleys, unhoused folks rummaging through their trash, going through carports, I will say, hey, come to city council, email city council, speak during public comment, and ask us to come out and meet with you. When I meet with a community member that's worried about crime, I'm just saying that because we're sitting here, I immediately connect them with their neighborhood resource officer, and I get them involved that way. And then the neighborhood resource officer usually talks to them about different ways they can create a neighborhood watch. Yeah. If it's about things like development, then they should come and voice their opinions about how they think it's impacting their quality of life in the community, so that the council can hear that. Unfortunately, with that topic, there's very little local control that we have in some regard, but it's happening now. There was folks that were, not keen on an empty parking lot becoming available to build really high because it's like halfway into a residential community. They all organized, their neighbors, they wrote letters, they showed up and spoke at multiple meetings. That's how you get your voice heard. You have to show up. People say, oh, it doesn't matter if I speak at City Hall or if I send in an email. We take notice. When we get hundreds of emails, sorry, I'm like belching.
Right. I don't think it picks it up.
Well, now you know. When we get all these emails, we pay attention. We see that, wow, a lot of people are impacted by this. So I would say, you should join your neighborhood group. Sunset Park, Pico Neighborhood, Ocean Park, Wilmont. These are all neighborhood groups, and they're a great place to get informed quickly during the meetings. They might have newsletters and stuff too, and that's a good way to get involved. And then if you feel like you can give some time, maybe once a quarter, once a month, you could join a board or commission. The council appoints a lot of those. But those are some ways to get involved. It's all like to the level of, what do you have time for? I joined a commission first. I joined the Police Oversight Commission. And it was fairly easy. We had Zoom meetings. It didn't take a ton of my time, but it was a taste of what it's like to be involved in an organized group addressing certain issues in the city. So I think everybody should start with watching the council meetings from the comfort of your home. It's on YouTube. They're really long. You can fast forward.
It used to be on Channel 16. Do you remember that?
We had City TV.
Yeah.
I know. We still have that studio. Oh, we should get it back. We could do some
Where's that at?
exercise classes. So it's near my music store. I love it.
There you go.
But yeah, I think that people should start by watching the meetings, and you can watch the boards and commission meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way. And then I would say, depending on what your issue is, you can email me, lana.negrete@santamonica.gov. I try to answer everybody as best as I can. I leave a window during the week between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on certain days where I meet with constituents for coffee. I think that's the best way to get to know people face to face. So, yeah, I mean, I tell people, I'm like, look, I get it that we all want to be on social media. There's keyboard warriors out there that like to throw stones from a distance from the cheap seats and tell you what you're doing wrong and what you should do, but they don't want to be informed. They don't want to understand how it works. They just want to blame someone for their problem because they're upset and they're frustrated. A lot of them are just what I call rage baiters. They want to be upset and then they want to bait everyone else to being upset. And I'm like, okay, there's a difference between acknowledging a problem and coming out in front and saying, you know, the city of Santa Monica hasn't done a great job with addressing cleanliness and homelessness. We understand that. And here's what we're doing. It's not perfect. It's not going to be resolved like that, but we have a plan and here's the steps and we welcome input. But if you're just going to be upset and poop on everything everybody does, then that doesn't do anything either.
Especially with no solution of their own.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always like, look forward to seeing your name on the next ballot. There's an election next year.
What was the biggest, I guess, was there anything part of being city council or part of being mayor that you didn't expect that was a surprise to you?
Well, first of all, I went through cancer last year. So that was a lot and taxing. And then I rang the bell after finishing chemo and radiation. And then the whole city caught on fire. I became the mayor, and like weeks later, the city caught on fire. So I don't think I would have been like in rooms with these state and federal legislators the way I have been and made the connections with other folks if that had not happened. And that was like a unique experience because I got to learn a lot about not just responding to an emergency, but I figured out in those moments that what people want is to feel connected. There's public distrust because there's a lot of opaqueness in government. So I learned during that process that it's about trust, and the way you build trust is by communicating. I mean, that's like basic 101 for any relationship.
Any relationship.
You communicate to your kids, to your significant other. Like my husband and I are best friends. Like we communicate about everything. It's not perfect, but the moment you stop communicating, people don't trust anymore because they don't know what's going on. So that was crazy. I did not expect to have to go through evacuating a city, figuring out water. And I think that also, on the flip side, people thought I had like Karen Bass powers. And that was a lot of pressure. Who knew that was going to happen? And then we had a manhunt. I don't know. We've had so many things happen during my mayorship. I can't even keep track. But I realized the one constant that I hear from everybody, and I could be wrong, is that I found that during the fires, the city was like, okay, we're going to have you come at this time. We're going to load the teleprompter with a script, and you're going to stand in front of it. And you're like reading the teleprompter, so you're like this. Yeah. And it just looks so robotic and feels uncomfortable. And then they would have to go edit it, and that would take a few hours. And by then, during the fires, like 3 changes would have happened. So I just decided to take my cell phone, go on the roof of City Hall, and that's my first post. The fire's behind me, and I'm like, here's the update. I just cleared with staff. Is it okay to say these things? And I just started doing my own updates immediately. In the middle of, I'm still taking medication for cancer treatment. I had just lost my eyebrows and my eyelashes. I was bloated on steroids. I have hereditary bags under my eyes, but I look so awful in all those videos. You know what, though? It was weird. As a person and as a woman, I grew so much into myself. Like, I just didn't care. Yeah. I was like, this is an emergency. I'm addressing a community. Like, I'm not going to get all hung up on how I look. I hate how I look on camera and how photos are. No one else cares. They just want to know, like, is their house being evacuated? What's going on? What SBA loans are available? So I just focused on getting the information out. Then during that process, I learned how many cooks are in the kitchen and all that freeway drama of how we were pushing people off the 4th Street exit and how the signage was wrong. I was working with Caltrans, with the Mayor Bass's office. I had to get Tracy Park and I got involved together. because we didn't want they were going to do some of the stuff that they were doing, the mitigation. They wanted to use our parking lots with all this, with all the debris. And we were like, I was like, not in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Then we were dealing with, the closure part that was in Santa Monica. There was so much of stuff going on all over the place and so many people involved, and it was very hard to get anything done. As an elected official, you don't get a Rolodex of who to call. Assembly members of Byrne, his staff were amazing at helping get messaging. They were the ones that helped push getting the National Guard here for us. I made that phone call, and he
that was huge.
pressured that to make sure that we protected homes. But I realized in that moment that constituents have the frustration of trying to get the ear of their electeds. As electeds at the local level, we have the frustration of trying to get the ear of the folks who make decisions about whether or not the roads can be, the cone mitigation can be different so that we can not have bottlenecking on the freeway, so that we're not cutting off the businesses that are open on the PCH, whatever, all that kind of stuff. So I developed something called my GovTools and a newsletter that takes the city manager's updates. It's called mygovtools.org. I'm still building it out. The idea is that it's going to be a transparent platform. So where you ask me a question, like, I'll just, for example, hey, I don't like the Needles in the Park program. Why is the city doing that? I can say, oh, that's actually not the city. It's a county program. And I can ping the county to respond in a public platform if they choose to. It's also where you can figure out who to email for what, where to go.
That's the hardest part. No one knows who to contact.
No one knows. So I call it 5W is my LLC. Who, what, where, when, why. Who do I go to for what? And when we answer a question one time, if we post it publicly, you can drive people to see the same answer. Because oftentimes we're answering the same thing over and over. But during that process, I realized that people just need to know who to go to. They also need to understand who's actually responsible for things. People assume because it's in Santa Monica, like on the sides of the freeway, people don't realize, like, what's going on with those encampments?
Right.
Well, that's Caltrans. So we have to, contact them and get them to clean that up. Why are they shutting off the freeway this way? Well, that's also Caltrans. Or why are they handing out needles and meth pipes in the park? Well, that's a county program. The more we can get people to understand who's in charge, they'll start to pay attention to the elected individuals that are in charge. And if they're not supporting your interests, that's another reason why you should pay more attention to local politics. So that was such, I feel like I always say every stage in life, it's like getting a degree. And that was like my master's degree, because in a short amount of time, I saw how an emergency is handled in a huge regional level, how state and federal politics play a huge part in it, and how at the local level, we're sometimes the little guys, but if you stay persistent and you raise your voice and you know who to go to quickly, you can actually push things up. So, we did emergency ordinances to make sure schools were moved here quickly and placed in the Water Garden where normally you wouldn't be able to have a school. We helped businesses. But
and at the old Sears building.
Yep,
too.
the Pally High. And more importantly, I feel like I, myself personally, realized that the one thing people want is clear and consistent communication. And that's what I started. So I'm trying not to cuss, my crappy little Instagram, Mayor Lana Negrete, which will soon just be Lana Negrete, I guess, or Santa Monica Lana Negrete, is where I do updates. And yes, I do them from my car in my carport, because I have 2 kids and a dog and a husband, and it's quiet. And sometimes I'm in my workout clothes, sometimes I have makeup on, sometimes I don't. I just don't care. I think people just want the information. And because I do work and have a nonprofit and I'm doing all these things in the city, I do it when I have time to do it, which is sometimes 11 o'clock at night. And so far, with the exception of a few people commenting on how I need a ring light and I should get an office, I think people are like, I actually go to Instagram to get your weekly updates. And then every week on Tuesdays, I send out an email, and it has everything that the city manager internally updates to us that I'm allowed to share, because everything is public record actable. You could ask to see our emails. So I just shrink it down in bite size so people can kind of get the nuts and bolts of what's important. Public safety, economic recovery, homelessness. That's what I ran on. And then it also shows you all the calendar of events that are happening in the city. But I focus on the top 3 things I ran on. I put my opinion and where I'm at. I tell people what's hot on the next item at City Hall so they can show up and speak. And so far, that newsletter has attracted thousands of subscribers. People are constantly, I get new subscribers every day. People are sharing it. They like it. They feel involved. They feel that they understand a little bit more about City Hall. They a little bit more about how to get involved. And I think that's the key thing is if we can, education is key. Like if you can just educate people, they can make their own decision on how they want to show up. So that's what I'm doing.
You said you're going to change your name.
On my Instagram handle? Yeah. I don't know. It was, I just put mayor in front of it a while ago because someone told me that. I should have that on there, but I think it was Lana Negrete Santa Monica before. Maybe you can give me a name. Instead of mocha with the mayor, it'll be coffee with the councilwoman.
So your mayorship's going to be up?
December 9th.
How do you feel about that?
50-50. I think there's a part of me. I mean, a lot of community members are like, it just goes by so fast. So a lot of community members are like, oh man, you really need 2 years. I'm like, I know. It goes by fast because I kind of use that platform, even though you don't have any special voting or executive powers. It is a platform. And something I started as a council member was these 2-hour tours I do with students. We go through City Hall. We go through the SWIP Water Department, the Police Department, New City Hall East, and we discuss how...
I just want everyone to notice she didn't say fire department.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
That's because they're not walkable.
She's going to wake them up. That's why. And we don't want that. Go ahead.
I just want to put a disclosure. I am not dissing the fire department. I love you guys, okay? When I call 911, I'd like for you to show up.
Yes, after we show up to make sure everything's safe. Go ahead.
After you've cleared the building. Oh, my gosh.
So these tours.
These tours are great. I think parents started coming on the tours as parent chaperones. And so from these 2-hour tours, which public schools, private schools, all age groups come, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. We talk a little bit we go in the chambers about City Hall, how it works, elected officials. The kids usually have questions for me. We do a tour of the city manager's office. I talk about the old building, the murals on the walls, the seal. We go into the new building. I show them the difference between a living building that's truly sustainable, which is really neat. That ties into our SWIP water infrastructure project, which I think is phenomenal, that we, what creates an independent city is water often. People don't realize that we are collecting storm drain water, runoff, creating drinkable water out of our tap right underneath the parking structure here. Parking lot, sorry. And so that's pretty amazing. And then I take them to the police department, and they're always in awe that it's a lot more than what you think it is. Looking at the drone system, this podcast room, going downstairs and seeing how everything operates from motor vehicles to the dogs we use. And so the parents started saying, oh my God, I learned so much. So I proposed having you guys have your Citizens Academy, which is longer, just a 1-day Citizens Academy for any constituent to come in and learn the same thing. Get a little sneak peek tour of City Hall, how it works, hopefully to inspire people to get involved. I think that the more diversity we have on the dais, and I mean diversity from the standpoint of like representing all the different types of people that live and work in the city, the better we are because then you're really representing the community. If it's a small group of people who know how to work the political system because maybe that's their career path is to be a politician, oftentimes you'll find you're not really representing everybody, and most times you're definitely underrepresenting the folks who are working hard to pay taxes to survive here, who probably need the most representation because the policies we set really impact their daily lives. So that I'm looking forward to. And if I had 2 years, I would love to be able to promote that more as a mayor. But it doesn't matter. I'm still going to do it as a council person. People just may not. People think it's cooler to like, I'm with the mayor. So I'm like, well, I think once a mayor, you're always a mayor, they say. So.
Well, when I see Phil
he
Brock,
still works.
Yeah. But no, absolutely.
Yeah, Phil had Brock on your block. I was like, I could do Lana in the sauna. We did that with the fire department. They had a sauna.
Of course. These jokes write themselves. Like, I don't even need to say anything.
It's like a podcast, but in the sauna. I think it might take off.
Yeah, we could do a cold plunge. We have one.
Yeah, there's somebody who does that. Isn't it like Kevin Hart or somebody?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do that.
Oh, we should.
There's no way. They would have to have some other host.
I would
sauna
do it.
I could do, yeah. Cold
Lana
plunge?
in the sauna. Brock on your block, Lana in the sauna.
I like that.
Spaghetti with Negrete. Even though it's Negrete, my husband does. But spaghetti with Negrete sounds Italian, but it works. It rhymes. I am going to be doing salsa at Reed Park. I'm still going to be doing events. I'm still going to be doing my newsletters, obviously. I'm still going to do my updates. It's not going to change.
What aren't you going to be doing? What's going to change?
I won't be asked to attend as many ribbon cuttings, I presume, right? They'll want the mayor at that. But we still go as council members. You're just not the person speaking at the ribbon cutting. The news usually requests interviews from the mayor. I won't be running the city council meeting. So that's what will change. But to the extent that any business wants me there or anyone wants me to talk or I mean, I did that all before I was the mayor. So I'll still be doing those things. I'll still be at events. You'll still see me. It's just people will be less inclined to want to take a photo with me. Which I'm fine with.
Former mayor.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, she's a has-been. So that part, it's funny. When I tell people that it just rotates, they're like, oh, like it's less impressive.
Yeah.
Like you weren't elected as a mayor. And a lot of people want an elected mayor. The only thing I'll say about that is I think if you elected the mayor and they don't have additional executive powers, I think that's confusing. Because you're like, I chose this mayor to just be like a spokesperson for the city. But I don't know. I mean, if that's important to people, I guess that's important. But yeah, the rotation is common. Culver City rotates. West Hollywood rotates. Manhattan Beach, you only get to be mayor 9.5 months because they want to make sure everybody gets a chance within their 4-year term to be the mayor.
And ours is a year?
Yeah, we said it was a year. Previously, when you would do the appointment thing, you could say, I want to be mayor for 2 years. And so when I got it, they split it between Phil and then me. Yeah, I was the vice mayor for 2 years, which was just mayor pro tem.
Yeah.
So yeah, this whole mayor thing, it's hard for people to understand this concept that like we're a part-time city council. We do set policy, but city staff and the city manager runs the city and puts that policy into play. And so that part is hard to understand. I'm not taking away any power, yes, and that the city mayor doesn't really have.
What's your thoughts on being part-time?
I think first of all, I'm crazy to do this. I live in a rent-controlled apartment. We don't make a lot of money because I give a lot of my time to my nonprofit and to this work too. So the average blue-collar working person wouldn't do this because who could do this for this amount of money? I take away time from my family. It's negatively impacted my job because I can't do other work that I do. I produce events and stuff like that outside of what I do at the music store, running the music store. I have to pay staff to run the store during the day because I'm not there. So that's why you see people who are either retired and have time on their hands, people who financially don't need the money, so that they can do this, or people who have the type of job that allows for this, or career professional politicians. And I'm good, bad, or indifferent. You have to ask yourself, what do you want? What values are important to you? If you're looking for people who've run a business currently and are raising a family, and you want to see yourself on the dais, then we need to pay people a livable wage to be able to do that. And we need to provide them support staff independently so that they can have people really researching things. I mean, we get the city council agenda packet and we have like 4 days to digest over 1,000 pages, staff reports. And if you're not well versed in this stuff, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then there's people in the community who have very specific interests, right? Like the emergency evacuation plan, and they're like honed in on that, or water, or I don't know, whatever it is, public safety, every development, and they're very specifically honed in, and they're the subject matter expert, and then they get mad. Oh, you voted on this thing and you didn't know, and you're like, there was 12 other things and thousands of pages. We were trying to digest staff reports that are like, pages long. So one of the things I said was like, these staff reports need to be like as concise as possible. And that's difficult because, you know, if you really want to get into just one area, you could spend all your time just getting into one area. So to find someone who's well-versed enough and can manage reading into things, who can take community criticism. I mean, y'all know I be up in them comments. People try to get crazy, and I'm like, oh, really? Keyboard warrior? See if you say that to my face. And don't mess with my family. So that's also hard. You have to balance that. So, you know, we all like to throw stones, and we want this perfect politician to set up and make policy for us. We don't want a politician. We want a real person. We don't want them to get emotional or wear their emotions on their sleeve and clap back. We want them polished, but not too polished. We want them to know what they're talking about, but not to be career politicians. I'm like, okay. And then at the same time, they're not making really any money. It's a stipend pay. The problem with paying someone like a salary and then it's a job, then you're like, okay, what's the motivation for someone to stay on council because they're making money? So I don't know. I think a little bit more would be helpful, because maybe if it was $50,000 a year, someone could say, I could step away from my business and use this money to pay someone to help me a little bit as an assistant or something. Then we might get a variety of people wanting to be on city council. But right now, it's not a lucrative career path. And you're literally putting yourself in the line of fire on a pedestal to be scrutinized, to have stones thrown at you. It's can be a very thankless job on one end of the spectrum, and it can be so awesome. It's this crazy dichotomy. I have met more people in the community that I love and have grown up in that I never knew before. I have learned so much about things around the community. Like, I didn't know we had this water infrastructure project underground. It's so cool. I went on a 3-day trip to learn about how Santa Monica became an independent city because we own a percentage of the water infrastructure program, which is so cool. Like, we could eventually one day sell water back to other cities. I didn't know as much as I knew about the police department and the drone system. I now go to D.C. I was just in Utah, and I meet with organizations and companies that are developing technology around policing. And that's interesting to me. I know more about development than I ever understood before. I know more about how conditional use permits and zoning works to either negatively impact or positively impact businesses and communities. And the airport. I never knew how vast and big it was and what the history is there. So that's been really cool, and it's really nice to be able to stand up for communities who don't have a voice. I worked for the Virginia Avenue folks to make sure that that apartment stayed and didn't get torn down. I stood up for creating the DART team when I first came on. I'm addressing right now issues around county and state funded homeless housing being plopped in our city with no local control, and developers using sober living homes as a means to finance their development. And I'm learning all these things while sticking up for people. So, like, that's really cool. But then there's the other side of it where some guy on the promenade puts a banner about you and it's embarrassing for your kids. Or people just make up stuff about you and say things that aren't true. And I have to work independently outside, and I'll have clients ask me like, oh, I heard this about you. And I'm like, that is not even half true. So that sucks.
There's no accountability on the other side for that.
No, because we're not allowed to block comments on our social media, and libel doesn't work in defamation of character. When you're a public figure, people can say things, and you have to really prove that it like financially affected you. Whereas the average person could sue someone for just making up a lie. So that part sucks. I also it's weird to have enemy. I'm a person who likes people. So when people don't like you and they've never met you, it's so difficult for me. But you don't know me.
But that's more about them than you.
I know. That's where I'm like, wear my heart on my sleeve. But I tell people, like, I know you're supposed to have thick skin, and I've definitely developed some being on council, but I don't want to be so thick-skinned that I'm not human. Because then I feel like then that's not me.
No, I mean, that's what sets you apart.
What makes me human is that I drop the F-bomb like every few seconds. See, I haven't done it yet.
Know.
So there's a lot of constraint.
I'm just going to put in some random bleeps just so people think you are.
trying to keep it PG. I started a youth city council. That's something else I'm proud of.
What's that?
So it's mainly kids from Samo. There's a couple kids that aren't from Samo. There's a Pali student on there. And they did all the interviews and selected kids. They meet once a month on a Thursday, every third Thursday at Chambers, City Hall Chambers. And they take the agenda and they look at it and then they find a subject that they're interested in focusing on.
Same agenda that you guys get?
Yes.
Okay.
And
that's pretty cool.
More recently, they're developing something around trying to develop a parking program for students so that they're going to work on their first item. This was something that during the time Phil Brock was on, we were trying to get together, and it was like hard with staff. So I just took it into my own hands and created the Youth City Council. I was like, we're just going to block out time and meet, and we'll figure it out. So I've introduced them to they've met a couple council members. They've met the city clerk, the city manager. And so hopefully this grows to be more kids, not just at Samo High, like everywhere. So that's one way I want to expose kids getting involved.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can take them to Sacramento and DC. Other cities have that. The other thing I'm working on is to create an internship program. So we have a day of shadowing. Other cities do it where young people get to come and see what people do in different departments. There's so many jobs in the city, from the communications, it's marketing, to I don't know, God, public works has jobs that you don't realize. There's people physically in the field doing laborious work, and then there's people behind a computer screen that are doing everything from marketing and communications to administrative stuff. So I just want people to know that there's jobs that exist within the city that are pretty great. And I meet so many people that are born and raised here that went through the school system here and work for the city. So that's something.
That's the thing with Santa Monica. I feel like a lot of us that grow up here rarely leave.
I know.
But we have a lot of people import themselves here.
Yes. And then try to change our city.
Yeah.
Change is inevitable, but you want to be able to have kind of historical view is important. I actually like historical preservation was something I learned about coming on city council. Like, you may just look at it and be like, who cares about that building? But buildings tell a story about a different time without having words. You just look at a structure and you imagine a different time when you look at a Victorian house or an old Cape Cod development or an old building and you go, wow, I wonder, it strikes the conversation and imagination in your mind. And it also keeps alive the conversation of how things were so we can make better decisions on how things are going to be. So that's important to me and really cool. But since I got on city council, I feel proud of the work I've done driving forward a public safety focused mind. We cannot have a successful city and economy if we're not safe. And perception is real. People say, oh, it's the perception of safety. Well, sure, we don't have gang crime like we used to maybe in the 80s and 90s. And in some ways, you would almost say, because I grew up in those neighborhoods, it was almost safer because they weren't out to get the neighbors. It was other gang members, and you might be caught in something happening as an innocent bystander. But today, part one crimes, meaning your bike is stolen, and maybe that's the only way your kids get to school, or you get to work. Petty theft, people stealing things that are meaningful to you, and you feel violated when you're robbed. But it doesn't really result in someone going to jail for the long haul. I know for me, going into my laundry room and finding someone doing meth in there, that makes me scared to be where I live. So those types of crimes are more rampant because we have unhoused people who have unchecked mental diagnoses that maybe haven't been diagnosed, and drug addiction is rampant on our streets. And we're setting these overarching esoteric policies that aren't really, from 30,000 feet, look like they're addressing the issue of homelessness. But if you drive down deeper, you realize that, in fact, it's not. And in many ways, it's making it worse. As we build more access centers in Santa Monica, more people come from all over the region, all over the country to get services here. And that puts a strain on our police department, our fire department, our water infrastructure, the folks picking up trash, the guys doing beach maintenance. Being on city council and going and visiting all of those departments, doing ride-alongs with everybody who picks up trash on the beach, who's cleaning the public restrooms, to picking up the recycling bins, to going on ride-alongs with you guys and fire. I mean, I enjoy that because even the water department people, I love seeing everything everyone does to understand how the city operates and what their struggles are. Because just like constituents, they have their own issues on how they feel their jobs could be better supported to better support the city. But man, once you get involved and peel back the curtain, you're like, wow, this is a lot of work. It needs people who can be committed with support. So that means probably need to pay people a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But it also needs more community engagement, and it needs people to be really engaged, not from reading something from a friend or watching a 10-second TikTok video or getting rage baited into like, it's so awful here.
Yeah.
But digging in and saying, yeah, there is a lot of homeless. And sure, there isn't this other type of crime that we used to have. Rape and murder is down. But people are getting punched in the face for no reason by a homeless person, or feeling like they have to cross the street because some guy's talking to himself with his pants half down. How do I get involved and fix that instead of pointing fingers at people?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part where a lot of this has to do with California policies. But you got to lean on your...
Well, I think that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize it's above us.
Yeah, like they get frustrated with the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys go out and do things and they're like, why aren't you arresting that guy for sitting there? He's clearly homeless and talking to himself and on drugs. Arrest him. And you're like, well, there's laws that prohibit us from doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have until how long left on city council?
So November 2026 is the next election. So most people are announcing first part of the year whether or not they're running again. And there will be 3 seats up for city council. My seat is available, Carolyn Terosis and Jesse Zwick. And so assuming, like, if all 3 of us run, then we're running for re-election. But people are welcome to apply and pull applications and run for city council. That's on our website, and you will be invited, where the city clerk goes over, how that process works, what you have to do. You have to collect signatures, and then from there you got to...
What is the requirement?
So you've got to collect, I feel bad that I don't have this off the top of my head, a set amount of signatures. It's not that many, just to get your name on the ballot. And you don't have to do anything, right? Like you could just put your name on the ballot and knock door to door.
Right.
But most people go out and they get endorsements, and you do need to raise some money. So it used to be you could only get $410 per individual person. This past city council voted so that you could get $1,000 per person, which will increase what each individual can give you. And then oftentimes, the Police Officers Association, the Fire Union, Building and Trades, the Dem Club, these people will start political action committees or independent expenditures, and they will raise money to put out mailers because they're very expensive to tell people who to vote for. But as an independent person running for city council in Santa Monica, some would say anywhere between $75,000 to $100,000 affords you the opportunity to do digital ads. Because how do you reach all 90,000 residents? To do mailers, that's very expensive and probably less popular. I would think digital is probably more important. But someone's got to design it. Someone's got to push it out. And then you've got to be able to host little events. You have to hope your friends or people want to invite people into their backyard so you can talk to them and say why they should vote for you. And you've got to go door to door. And so people who raise a lot of money will actually hire people and use like Unite Here Local 11. They go in for the folks that they support, and they bring people in and they just go door to door. I didn't have that. So I had police officers knocking for me, firemen and women, and I had my friends and family. And I think that I would prefer to vote for someone who's talking to me directly, or if I'm talking to someone's husband and he can call me over. My husband would be like, hold on, my wife's on the other block. I'll have her come over and talk to you. But some people are just checked out. And so if someone knocks on their door and tells them, don't vote for these people because this, and this, it may not even be true. People told people that I was anti-rent control, and I live in rent control. So people say awful things during a campaign. And
how much time do you give like the hate versus?
How does what?
How much time do you give to the people that are just hating just to hate?
I try not to give too much, but I will say it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I'll have 100 people say beautiful, nice, wonderful things and send me messages, and then one person will say something crappy, and it just, I don't know why I get like defensive. I think because I give so much and I feel like I have to respond, But I'm getting better at that. My husband says I have rabbit ears. He's like, don't respond. You're the mayor. You don't have to respond to these people. However, I will say, I engage in robust dialogue with people who don't always agree with me. I go to coffee with them. And they, at the end of the day, shake my hand and say, you know what? You're the only elected official that's ever responded or taken up a meeting with me. So, yes, I don't need to respond to these like keyboard warriors and trolls on the internet. But I do feel like it's okay to engage with people, because if you just say, oh, I'm not going to talk to anyone, then you become this untouchable, distant figure. And that's why people just tune out.
And that's not like you.
No, I'm all up
You
in
always
there.
engage.
It's to my detriment sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
for better
probably,
or worse.
it does. Like, I find myself sometimes like getting really affected by someone making up something. And it bothers me because sometimes someone who's really intelligent or smart or a friend will believe it. And I'm like, you can't believe everything you read. And then it's exhausting to school people because no one has the attention span. No one's probably going to watch this whole podcast because I've been talking way too much. And apparently we're not editing this.
No, just one take.
So you probably tuned out 40 minutes ago. I'll try to be quiet. I got to work on short answers. I get so excited and I talk a lot. So unfortunately.
I do like that though. Like, I know we're making fun, but it's a way of understanding your thought process too in regard to certain things. It's not just an answer. Well, how did you even get to the answer?
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, and I try not to be reactive. What gets scary when you're like a politician or elected official or you work for the city is you have to be guarded about like accidentally saying things too early, and are you going to get the city in legal trouble? So there's that whole thing. But I do think the community just wants someone that talks like them, sounds like them for the most part.
Grew up like them.
Grew up like them, is experiencing in real time the same struggles that they are, and isn't speaking in what I call word salads, where you just say these highfalutin vocabulary words that sound good. I mean, I hear politicians answer questions, and I'm like, what did you just say?
I'm more confused now.
We are collaborating with the community, and we are involving the folks that are handling the matter. And I'm like, you just said nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or they just use these buzzwords. Even like, I'll just say this, and this is going to be unpopular. Homelessness. Oh, unhoused population. Substance use disorder instead of drug addicted or alcoholism. I mean, I know people who are suffering that, and they're like, I call myself an addict. I think we're so concerned with the vocabulary that we use and not offending people that we're not doing the work to solve the problem.
Yeah.
We're so concerned with taking people down and putting them in teams. Oh, you're a Republican. Oh, you're a Democrat. Oh, you're conservative. Oh, you're a NIMBY. Not in my backyard. You're a YIMBY. Yes, in my backyard. It's like, what are all these stupid names calling? Let's just do common sense, moderate decision making. We're supposed to be nonpartisan at the local level, which is nonsense, because if anyone were to come out and say that they're a registered Republican, like no one would vote for them in Santa Monica probably. And I'm kind of like, who cares? I want to run just as a independent. I've always been a Democrat. I was an independent at one point, and then everybody freaked out. I'll never forget this. Like, Sue Himmelrich was like, you just re-registered as a Democrat, and that's suspicious. And I'm like, who cares? I'm just want to make decisions that are right for the city. And too often we get put in a camp, and then like every decision every Democrat made is now my decision. And I don't agree with everything in any party. I'm more conservative when it comes to business stuff because I own a business. And I think I'm liberal in other ways when it comes to, you know, making sure people have access to city government and other things. I'm all about transparency. I don't know what you call that. It's
called being a person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? A person that
Balanced.
can just, their views can change. And
Yeah.
What's important to them changes.
I always say the definition of intelligence is being informed and changing your mind. And if we come to the table with an already set political set of views and we go, I'm team whatever, so I'm never going to agree with this person. I have friends who won't even be seen or take a picture with people. I've been in that predicament where I go to these National League of City events and I see someone and they're like, oh, don't take a picture with that person. Or you hang out with this other council member from LA and that person's a Republican. And I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
What matters is that we're doing good work and we're reaching across the aisle. I just came back from Utah where Governor Spencer Cox from Utah, was sitting down with Governor Lujan from New Mexico. And she's Democrat, very progressive. He's Republican. They don't see eye to eye on 90% of things as it pertains to, pro-choice, pro-life, gun laws, whatnot. But they come together respectfully to talk about and find the commonality between the two of them where they do agree on things. They agree on creating an affordable opportunity for families to be able to have home ownership or whatnot. And they find that common ground so that they can show people that you can reach across the aisle. And that's what I want to do. So I hope that we can find that in the community. I want to be able to find that on the dais, but I definitely don't prescribe to a method to doing it. Going back to me being responsive and reactive, I respond with emotion when I'm on the dais up there often. And I think there's a good and bad thing about that, right? You want to be poised to be able to not let people throw you off your game so that you keep the goal in mind. But I don't want to go up there and word salad people. I don't want to make false promises. I don't want to trick people with words and make them feel like we're doing more than we are. There's a lot of performative things that happen, perfunctory things, where we, say this, like, we're doing something and it sounds so big on paper, and then independent council members take credit for it. When in actuality, what is really rolling out in the community may be less impactful and might need to be relooked at. Or if it is beneficial and impactful, it was the work of many people, not just one. So to the extent that I brought forward, even the DART situation that's happening now on the pier, or anything else that I've done, it was the work of other people voting it, moving it forward. And it was the work of the departments who are doing it to make it happen. And I think if politicians could speak more plainly, more openly, and consistently communicate what's going on beforehand, not after the fact, people would feel like they're a part of the process.
I agree.
So I'm running for president.
There you go. You heard that here.
I don't know what I'm doing next.
Oh, the next question.
Oh.
What is next?
I don't know, because this is a lot. Look, I went through breast cancer last year and went through 3 surgeries, 4.5 months of chemo, 20 rounds of radiation. I'm on 2 types of medication and injections every month. I have a senior in high school who's graduating this year. I have a 10th grader. I miss a lot of time with them. I'm going to cry. I've missed the last 3.5 years of their school and in their life. And that's hard when your kids tell you, I'm going to miss another orchestra concert, because when I got sworn in, when I became mayor, and now when I'm transitioning out, it's on the same night for my daughter, and this is her senior concert. It sucks. I miss musical theater plays that my daughter, Mia, has. I miss family dinners. I miss morning routines. I miss weekends. My husband and I don't do date night anymore. Our date nights are like him coming with me to a city event and me ignoring him and running around and him being my Instagram person. So it's a lot. And I have to ask myself, for all that it takes out of me and for all the scrutiny and stress, how does that outweigh? Family has to come first. I have to be able to put food on the table and put my kids through college. And I have lost a lot of money because I can't do my other work. Everything's also like a conflict of interest. So as a consultant, I can't work with anybody on music events that are here in the city. So I really genuinely don't know. I would love to be able to apply my knowledge and my ability to connect with the community in a way that actually creates change. And so many people have said, oh, you should run for county supervisor, you should run for senator, you should run for whatever. Or you should continue to be on city council. I just don't know. I don't know. I have to go home and really evaluate, and I will be deciding before, by the beginning of next year, what am I going to do? Because I really love serving the city, but it has taken a lot. It takes a lot out of you. Out of me, yeah. Financially, mentally, emotionally, and it's a huge price to pay. I don't want to scare anyone from running, but you do have to ask yourself, can you afford taking that time away from home? And I have to give a big shout out to my husband, because he has put a was so much. I mean, I am in medically induced menopause, which means I'm a raging bleep. And then I'm out in the city and I take all this crap and I have to smile and be poised and nice to people. I mean, I don't have to, but I try 50% of the time to do that. And then I let that all go when I come home and I lay it on my family. And they've been able to take it with stride and have thick skin and understand that mom's going through stuff physically with her health, managing cancer treatment, but she's also taking on a lot in the public eye. And they've been such good troopers and such a good support system. And you really can't do it if you don't have that. And then I also have my extended family, which is my friends and my community members, people who I've just met during this process, and people who I've known for years, who have my back, who remind me, for all the nasty things people say or email you, we love you, we support you, we know what you're doing, we see you. And that does fill my cup. And I go to Mass at St. Monica's on Sundays, and that is definitely...
My alma mater.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's right. I love Monsignor. I love Mass. I just think it's funny. The homily was about our phones and distraction on Sunday. And I think I go to Mass for connectivity, for that recharge, to remind myself that I am a part of a great community. Yes, we have homeless problems. Yes, we have, issues with crime and clean streets. But when I go to Mass and I'm there, and when I'm serving on the day before Thanksgiving, 1,000 families in need, and I see 500 volunteers show up, I'm reminded we are a compassionate, tight-knit community. I live in Sunset Park, in an apartment amongst a lot of homes. We have block parties. We have fish cookouts. Our neighbors throw annual parties where they've got a live band. We have our neighborhood officers who show up to the block parties. I don't know. I just think it's so cool. Like, my kids have been, when they were kids, they would do bake sales on the corner. When Bob was still alive at Bob's Market, he would bill us at the end of the month. So if my kids didn't have money, you could put something on our tab, and then he would bill us at the end of the month. There's a small town feel throughout the pockets of Santa Monica amongst this bigger city. So I still love that aspect, and I still really want to be involved. One way or another, I'm going to be involved. I just don't know what that'll look like.
Good. But we'll find out
at the beginning of the year. I have to, because if I'm running for something, you have to say that. I'll let you guys you put in the comments. Does that make sense? Can I say that? Drop in the comments what you think I should do. Only say nice things. Don't be mean.
You want to do a little rapid round?
Sure.
A little rapid fire? And then we'll close it out.
Is anyone watching this whole thing? It's so long. It's like 2 parts.
You know what? But if they are, we'll give them something fun.
That's right. You have to wait till the end.
You have to wait till the end. That's why we won't cover it in the beginning. All right. So we'll do a bunch of quick questions. I may interject if I agree or disagree with you. But it won't count against you. We'll start simple.
Okay.
Coffee or tea? I already know this
Coffee.
Because you had me make you coffee earlier. Favorite food?
Oh, God, that's so hard. Okay, the first thing that came to mind was French fries. Oh.
From where? Who has the best French fries that you had?
This is awful.
I know, but it's...
McDonald's.
Yeah, I know.
They're addictive. I also like In-N-Out. Yeah. But if I want to be bougie, I do love Parmesan truffle fries.
I heard that if you go to McDonald's and you ask for lightly salted French fries, they have to make you a whole fresh new batch.
Oh, really?
And that's how you get the freshest fries.
Okay.
And then you just get a side of salt and you just fill that bad boy back up.
I love that. And I also love In-N-Out, which is different. Their French fries taste like Ruffles potato chips because they're like straight from the potato. They're a different type of fry. But McDonald's is my go-to.
Those well done. In-N-Out.
I know, yeah.
What's your go-to order for In-N-Out?
Okay, so I like the single patty hamburger with grilled onions, lettuce, tomato, and mustard. And that's it. I don't put anything else. And I don't get animal style because I think that's gross. It looks like barf.
That's what I get.
Oh my God,
it doesn't matter what it looks
that.
like. It tastes phenomenal.
It's like ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together. I like ketchup. I don't like mayonnaise. The smell of mayonnaise makes me want to dry heave. I'm not a mayonnaise fan. Unless it's lightly mixed in things.
And then you can't tell.
And aioli is just a fancy mayonnaise. Don't try to give me aioli, okay? Is this a dressed up mayonnaise with a little bit of garlic or whatever?
So embarrassing story. I went to a drive-thru, In-N-Out. God, this was years ago. And I wanted to. my mind says order this animal style, but what came out of my mouth was order this monster style. And the lady on the machine, she's like, we don't have that. And I realized what I did, but I couldn't say that I was wrong. I was like, you guys haven't heard that yet? Oh, it's a fad. It's coming.
I'll just do animal for now.
So I said that. I made this whole elaborate story because I didn't want to say I was wrong.
You should come up. What could monster style be with extra jalapenos?
I think extra everything.
Extra
and it's
everything.
Just dripping all
like
over the sides.
That's gross. Then it's soggy.
Or amazing.
I don't know.
Well, you grill the bread, so it doesn't get
like
soggy.
sauce. I'm a sauce person. By the way, speaking of sauce, if you go to Bob's Market in Sunset Park, one of Bob's sons makes a tomato sauce during, I don't know if it's seasonal, but he has a sauce that he does. Anyways, we do the whole
like
voice.
a pizza sauce?
Yeah, like a pasta sauce. Sauce. I don't know, but it's cool.
Favorite song?
Oh, gosh. I have, that's tough.
Okay, what's
right
your
now,
go-to song?
Well, I go through phases, so I love everything. I love The Cure.
Mm-hmm.
Close to Me is a good song. I'm listening to all Olivia Dean right now. Lady. I love that song. I like all her songs right now. My daughter Mia turned me on to Olivia Dean. But I also love Prof. He's a hip hop singer that is not really known. If you look him up, Prof. I like Drake. I love Tupac and Biggie and all the old school hip hop. But I also love oldies. I love like Zapp and Roger, the Delphonics. You know, when I was younger, we would listen to oldies and like you would write out the songs in like mad cursive.
I heard they don't even teach cursive anymore.
No. I get letters, by the way, on the dais. We all get letters. This is a funny little story. So we all get these little like clear envelopes with like mail in it. And I get letters from prison because people I know went to prison and they found out that I'm the mayor and they want like character letters for their parole hearings.
Oh, man.
So I'll never forget, I was opening up a letter and a council member said, you always get these really nice handwritten cursive letters. And I'm like, And now staff opens them and they're like, you got a letter from Folsom Prison. I'm like, they're like, hey, homegirl. It's actually pretty cool because they're like, wow, you made it. Like I have people get emotional. Like they grew up with me.
Well, yeah.
And they're like, you're from like around the way from the neighborhood. And it's crazy. Like I was rolling in like cutlasses and lowriders with straight gangsters back in the day. And I was also cheerleading and playing basketball. I got along with everybody.
Yeah.
I could hang out with all
You're
different
a people
types.
person.
I'm a people person. But that anyways, back to the cursive thing. I love oldies. I go through phases. Like it depends on what I'm feeling emotionally. I will say before my council meetings, I usually listen to some hip hop. Get pumped up.
Right? I like that.
But if I'm coming on like a relaxing day, I'm like Olivia Dean, maybe. I love 80s music. That's a tough question. I don't have like one favorite song. But The Cure never gets old. Maná. I love Oye, mi amor. You know, it's Spanish rock. Maná. That's a great group. I don't know. I really do a love a variety of music. I love some country, not all. R&B. I don't know. I can't think of a favorite song. Except for Close to Me. Like I'm just thinking of The Cure. I used to have like that song like on repeat when I was younger, like all that 80s music.
Rewind the tape.
Yeah, exactly. To rewind it.
Homebody or travel?
I love traveling. So I'm a Cancer. I had cancer, but I'm also born June 29th. I do like two extremes. So I love being out and being social. I love traveling, and I feel like if I don't get up, especially if it's sunny out, I've wasted the day.
Yeah.
And I panic. My husband's like, it's okay if we just don't do anything. But I hate it. If I've missed too much of the day, I'm like, it's already 2:00 and we've been inside the house. But when it is rainy and gloomy, I love the excuse to be inside, wear my sweats. I could also like hibernate for 72 hours, not answer my phone, watch endless amounts of like crime TV or movies, and just order out or eat in. I love cooking. I love being inside the house. So I have like this split thing where 80% of the time I love being out and about, but I love also just checking out.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
I love making steaks, grilled meats. I love grilling meat. Baking is different because like you have to be so concise with ingredients. I love being more like you can kind of just make
with
stuff
love.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love hosting things. So I love grilling meats. I love sautéing vegetables in ways that my kids will eat it. Like
Where it doesn't
candied.
taste like
Exactly.
vegetables.
At this point, I've made it like a sugary carrot,
Yeah.
caramelized carrots and things. Yeah. So I love making dinner for my family. We have a family recipe that's these pork chops that my grandmother used to make, where you put a lemon wedge on the last bit while it's in the broiler, ketchup, brown sugar, and then when it comes out, you smush it over it. So it's like this sweet, tart sort of. I know that sounds gross, but
It doesn't though.
But I do love cooking ribeyes.
That's my favorite cut.
Yeah. Still enough marbleized fat in there that tastes good.
I trim it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't trim the fat.
You gotta trim some of the fat.
I just can't.
I'm all into those
consistency.
5-ingredient meals from Trader Joe's because I have less time to cook now. I used to cook 5 days a week. Now with city council and all that, the kids eat more outside food. But lately, the 5-ingredient meals, I follow Nutrition by Mia on Instagram. And so they're healthier versions, but it's like 5 items from Trader Joe's, and you can make a dinner for your whole family in like under 30 minutes.
Really?
Most of it's under 20 minutes.
I need to learn how to make sides.
Oh, sides are good.
I'll just buy a bigger steak.
No,
and
you
then I
gotta
don't worry
do
about
like
sides.
broccoli and carrots in the oven at 400 with olive oil, salt, and pepper.
Are you an air fryer?
I'm an air fryer person.
Oh, there's so many.
That changed the game. That's another fast way
I
to
tried
make.
it, but to me, it just tastes like if it was in the oven. I didn't see
Did you
anything
get
different.
the right air fryer? Well, it just
I got
cooks
the
it
Ninja
faster.
one.
Oh, yeah. I don't even have that nice of one. Mine's like also a toaster oven. So whenever something does more than one thing, it's usually not good at either. But mine's okay. I do salmon. I'll do broccoli. I'll reheat French fries.
Ooh, can you reheat a pizza?
Reheat pizzas so that it's like crispy.
I found the best way to reheat a pizza. If you stay for this long, this is so worth it.
Yeah.
Is in the smoker.
Well, who the hell has a smoker?
I do.
Do you have a smoker at home?
It's the best way. I mean, it's a pellet smoker, but a smoker nonetheless.
Okay,
But it's
I'm in
the
an apartment.
best way. Okay. But you may know somebody.
That's on my Christmas list. I live in the back. Yeah,
They make small portable smokers.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll have to see with fire if that's okay.
They're not going to show up anyways.
Oh my God. I was trying to give you a shout
my
out.
bad.
And then
My bad, Fire. Good job. There's a reason we won every softball tournament against them. Favorite movie?
Oh my gosh. God, these are hard. I should have prepared.
No,
Favorite
that's the best
movie.
part. Is you can't prepare.
I love Disney movies because, but and I love Tangled. And I also loved Shrek.
Tangled.
I know. I don't know why.
Shrek,
It's
I got it.
Rapunzel. Okay, movies. I'm a big comedy person, so. Oh my God, I don't know now. I gotta think. Like recent, all time.
We can go all time.
Okay, I'm like a Will Ferrell person,
Oh, yeah.
so I love him. That's why I say keep it sassy, Santa Monica from Anchorman.
Yeah.
Keep it classy, San Diego. So probably anything he was in. What's the movie where he's like with all the college kids and he's like, they're like, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, I don't know, we got a big day, man.
yeah.
Going to Bed Bath & Beyond, maybe a little Home Depot. Frank the Tank.
Oh, My Boy Blue?
My Boy Blue.
Yeah.
Frank the Tank. And he's like, oh, I'm not drinking any. And then he's all, once it hits your lips. I love.
Going streaking.
Yes. I don't know. I love funny movies. It used to be Naked Gun, which I watched the newest one, which is so stupid on the plane.
I know, but it still had its moments.
It still had its moments.
Yeah.
I love stupid humor.
There's enough homage to like the old school original stuff.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. I love comedy, obviously.
Yeah.
And I love comedians. I love watching stand-up comedy. So anything that's like stupid funny, I love. It's not for
Did you see
everybody.
Kevin Hart's thing on Netflix?
Yes, Kevin Hart. But I love Joe Coy,
Oh yeah.
who was a supporter. I became friends with his sister, and he has supported outreach to the arts as well. I love. Oh my gosh, I'm like brain farting now that we're sitting here. We were just watching him the other night. Oh, Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
Maniscalco.
Yeah.
He is so funny.
Italian
The
guy.
Italian guy.
Oh, it's just. Actually, my family was talking about him during our Thanksgiving dinner. Just his facial expression.
He's so dramatic.
Oh yeah. Get
it out of here. My husband says I'm like him. I get so dramatic about things. He's hilarious. I mean, no one can really compete. I met Chris Rock the other day. By the way, the other day at Shutters, he stays there often.
Oh.
He was eating breakfast the other day there. But Dave Chappelle is my all-time favorite human being, and I just think he's so funny and intelligent. Just the way his comedy goes and it's full circle closes, but the intellect mixed with the humor. And he offends everybody still, and he's not afraid to do it equally. Yeah. He's an equal offender. I just think everyone's so sensitive now. Like, you can't joke anymore.
I know.
And so, yeah. Anything that's comedic, I'm all about. Growing up, though, we used to watch, like, Monty Python, which is an acquired taste. My dad raised us on Benny Hill and Monty Python. So that type of humor that's like, I mean, my mind is always going places when I'm... Even when we're up on the dais sometimes, I'm just like, sometimes I just want to bust out laughing because it's all so funny. It's like we're all standing up there, sitting up there. I just want to say so many things when I'm up there, but I can't.
I heard, I think it was Matt Rife. I was watching some of his YouTube stuff yesterday. I heard him say, he said something. He's like, imagine the stuff I don't say. How offensive those things are.
My mind is not stopping. It's constantly going. And sometimes I blurt it out. My mom would say I have diarrhea of the mouth. I try not to, but I rarely am offended. I think it's healthy, and I think it's sad that we can't joke around anymore with people, that everyone is so offended. People are offended for other people. I find that interesting. We're also so litigious. I'm like, come on, we all have to laugh at ourselves and at each other. I grew up with mainly boys. My neighbors were all my friends, and they were all guys, and we would bag on each other. So when my husband met me, he was like, okay, you like crossed the line. I'm like, sorry, I grew up with all boys, and they would they used to make fun of my eyes being big, and I'll never forget. In high school, this kid, Ronald, I would walk into class, and he'd go, don't. From Homer Simpson, from Bart Simpson. That's all he had to say. I knew he was making fun of my big eyeballs. I used to put on his desk those little trolls that had the different color hair that would stick up, because I'd call him, he looked like a little troll. Oh my God. But we used to be able to bag on each other, and I had to take it, and it was embarrassing, but that's how
it hardened you.
Yeah, it hardens you. So they would make fun of my big eyes all the time. They'd be like, oh, you must be able to see everything around. I wanted to have smaller eyes.
Just walk in all squinty-eyed. No.
I'd put all kinds of eyeliner to make my eyes look smaller.
Is that a thing?
Oh my God, A Bug's Life. People would say, like, that was actually into adulthood. Now that I think about it, I don't think A Bug's Life.
Yeah, it wasn't our generation. Also, it's still happening. Do you want
still
to talk about
happening? People are still making fun of me. Oh my God, people are so mean. So during there was one of these awards I was giving out after the fires, and it was like right in the midst of like just finishing all my cancer treatment, and I gained 26 pounds during chemo. I thought you lose weight, and I didn't need to when I first came in here. I was like, oh God, I'm going to get so skinny. Oh no, we put you on steroids, and then you're going to be on all this medication that puts you into menopause, and it makes it really hard, and you're probably going to gain weight. You'll have inflammation from radiation. I'm like, sounds amazing. Sign me up. Yeah. So during that process, I was on stage, and on the police department's page, they shot a picture of me. It was a horrible angle. I was 25 pounds heavier. And somebody commented in there, look how fat the mayor's gotten, blah, 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 and just was like ripping me to shreds. And I was like, dang it. And I was like, I felt like I looked like the guy. Oh, one of my favorite movies, Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
Who's the other actor? When he's like,
not Jim Carrey, but the other guy?
No, not Jim Carrey, the other guy. Well, my hair often looks like that guy's hair from Dumb and Dumber.
I'll do one edit on this video, and I'll put his name down below.
Okay, so my hair is like frizzy from chemo and short, and I was like, God, I look like that guy from Dumb and Dumber half the time. But anyways, this lady was ripping on me. So my daughter, who's 15, like kids came up to her and were like, hey, this lady's like making fun of your mom. So she made her account public and went and said, hey, that's not nice. You know, my mom went through cancer, and you shouldn't body shame people, blah, blah, blah. That lady went on her account and started calling her names. But I was like, dang, this lady's over here like calling me fat and stuff. I can't control. Also, the city just puts all those videos. Y'all should go back and watch some of the videos. I mean, I probably look like crap on here, but
No.
I just, you know what?
Who
Meet me in
cares?
person, okay?
Yeah.
I would rather people say you look better in person
Mm-hmm.
than to meet me in person and be like, oh, you use 1,000 filters and you look nothing like yourself. That photo that's out there, my photo for city council,
Mm-hmm.
is totally a catfish photo because it is so over edited. I've never had that much hair, even before council. I was like, I look like a real estate agent. It's like, anyways, but I just like trying to be myself and be real, and I got over all that. I'm just like, whatever. I don't know how we got off on that. What was your question?
It doesn't even matter.
What was the rapid fire? What's the next one?
Yeah.
You said movie?
Was movie the last one that led us to this?
Yeah. Because we went into comedy, having a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah, because I think we were talking about like that kind
Yeah.
of movie. Nah, it doesn't matter.
Anyways, I like anything that's making fun. I think it's fun to make fun. I think laughter is medicine. And I think if you can laugh at yourself, that's the best medicine.
Agreed. And I'll tell you that, like, I'm 100%, and we're definitely the same generation. But for me, it's what's your intent? If your intent is just humor, great.
Right.
If your intent at laughter is to actually like hurt somebody, then no.
Right. Take people down.
But I think like our generation, and especially I mean within our walls here at the police station, it's that laughter that's like our love language here.
Yeah.
And if we're not making fun of you, like we don't like you. Like
right.
You know, it's that camaraderie. They say, I mean, what laughter, comedians, especially comedians, it's like a form of intelligence. It's being able to articulate those jokes and things of that nature. So we laugh all the time here.
I'm looking at the time on your clock. Oh, that's good. Okay.
2:12.
I was making sure because I have my agenda setting meeting at 3. No, I think it's like, I don't know. Also, I feel like if you can't be yourself and you're too afraid to say things because you're afraid of offending someone, you're not going to really express how you really feel about something. And when it comes to connecting with people, if you make people feel fearful that you're not addressing me the right way or whatever, you're not going to get to know the real person because they're going to be so in their head about what to say next. Same thing in politics.
Yeah.
If we're like, I'm not on your team and you're not on mine, and if you say something the wrong way, I'm going to have a gotcha moment and try to get you, then people won't come and speak at public comment. They won't come and say how they really feel. And then you won't bridge the gap. You won't be able to educate someone. You won't be able to get them to see your point of view. And things don't change. Everyone just stays in their corner, points fingers at each other, and keeps moving separately. And we get farther and farther away from coming together. That's the biggest problem I see with politics today. We need more people who are just willing. I wish we had people who are willing to just say, I'm not running as a party politician, but we have such a system built within a system, built within a system. It's just not designed that way. Like, even to run for higher office, you have to play even more politics because you have to get this union to support you and that union. And the average constituent showing up to vote doesn't realize what's at stake, how that person got their name on the ballot, and why you even remember them because they had so much money to be able to have commercials or other people put money in front of you. People just don't have time to like ask the poignant questions and get a deeper answer from someone to know that they're electing someone who's really going to represent them. And that's exhausting. And then like, I'm like, do I want to really go out there and have people like, I don't know, saying crappy things about me? I'm not a perfect person.
None of us are.
I filed my taxes late. Okay.
But none of us are perfect. And that's the thing.
No. Someone said something to me like, oh, and your store's not that successful. I'm like, yeah, I know. Because I'm over here doing this job. I'm trying to stay open. I never said that I was like a perfect person. Right. I'm saying that I understand the challenges of being a business owner. But it's unfortunate because like we want real people, but we also like feed into social media and like don't give real people a chance. So we need to ask ourselves.
Social media is not real.
Voters
I wish
need to
people
look at themselves.
could understand that.
I'm addicted. I doom scroll.
Okay.
I find myself 15 dog videos in, or I'm sending my kids funny stuff or my friends, and I'm like, okay, that's enough.
If you want a true test on knowing if social media is real or not,
get off of it.
On Instagram, buy something that you see on Instagram. I guarantee you, whatever gets shipped to your door is not what you're seeing on Instagram.
Yeah.
It is something completely worse.
Yeah.
And for me, that's just social media. It's not real.
No, and like kids are growing up in this world where their friends are showing all the best parts of their life or all the perfectly curated parts. And I was just telling my husband the other day, I go, photos are so interesting. We capture a moment in time so that we can go back and remember that moment. And so that years from now, we can go, oh, yeah, I forgot about that memory I created. This photo represents a memory. And then you go back and you remember not just the moment in the photo, but the people and the things. And it triggers all sorts of historical information in your brain. But then you look at social media, and I said, isn't it interesting how now we live simultaneously in history and in present time? And that is what's so bizarre. Our kids are living through the lens of a camera. Adults, young people are, I mean, even our own generation, they're filming everything they're doing. I've been victim of it myself because you're like, I have to get this out to the world and show them what I'm doing in real time. But you already had that moment and you'll never get that time back. And instead of just being present in it and like enjoying it for what it is and not having to capture it to show everybody what you did, you know, you can't really be in a moment.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I went to a Bruno Mars concert in Vegas.
I hear he puts on a good concert.
Yes, and you have to lock your phones away. And I think that's cool.
On a lower level, I went to that Candlelight concert.
Oh, I've been wanting to do that.
I went to one at the Equestrian Center. Yeah, I saw the Coldplay one. Ours was a 90s hip-hop.
So are they just playing? It's not the actual musicians.
No, I mean, it is. Well, they're, I mean, not the actual musicians of the songs. But it was 3 violinists and one
playing those music.
Cello.
That music. Ah.
Is it a celloist?
Cellist.
It was 4 of them surrounded by candles, but that was their thing. We didn't have to go so far as locking away. They said, hey, you can record the last song, but like aside from that, like don't bring your phones out and just actually enjoy.
Well, also if you
really
record
nice.
it, then no one else has to buy tickets for it because they just watched it.
I know, but the last song, and they did, and I did. I recorded the last song just because for some type of memory for it, and I wasn't as engaged because some of the audience was singing back like the songs they can't do on a violin and stuff like that, like the parts of a song. But I mean, they threw back some Tupac, some Biggie, like.
Oh, that's so cool.
They did Drake and Lamar, just in case there's no
cool.
conflict as to what side you're on, and it was, and I remember everything minus the last song because that's the one I did not record. Like I was actually present, enjoying it.
And that's the thing. It's interesting because it has benefits, technology and AI. It definitely has benefits in the political world where you can recall things. It keeps people maybe a little bit more honest now because you don't know who's filming you. In police work, we have body cams.
Which we love, by the way.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. We love body cams.
Yeah, because people can't lie and say that the cops were being, a certain way. So I think to the extent that we can use camera footage to tell the stories of the past in a positive way, in a not necessarily all positive information, but in a way that informs us, that's great. But I think if we're living with it all the time, and like, I feel like all our kids are like these mini they're just consumers and salespeople.
Yeah.
They're selling their life to their friends and they're just consuming product all the time. And I think now in households, we've lost this like moral compass about families, and like in order to afford to live in Santa Monica in California, both people have to work really hard, sometimes multiple jobs, and be a hustler like myself, where you've got like your business and your this and your that you're doing and an independent stuff to make ends meet, to put kids through club soccer, to make sure they can sign up for surf camp, that they can go to camp during the summer, go to college. And in order to do that, you're so busy doing all these other things, you're actually not with your kids. You're not having family meal time. You're not having family game night. You're not going on trips without your phone. You can't just be like, I'm off for 2 weeks. That doesn't exist anymore. Now your boss knows that they can get a hold of you. I mean, over Thanksgiving, I was dealing, and it's okay, with constituents because a sober living home opened up in the middle of the night on Ocean Avenue, and people were calling me. People text me because there's a homeless person in front of their house. I'm like, okay, get a call. Well, they're not responding. Or someone was messaging in the group like, I called the police, but we saw someone with a gun here. And I'm like, now I'm involved and I feel like I need to do something. I am constantly distracted with the need to respond immediately. We have a phone now so that when people text or email you, they want a response immediately. We didn't have that.
They expect a response.
They right. And we didn't have that before, because before, when you only checked your email on a computer or desktop, if you were away from it, you were away from it. And
or your
I
days
think
off are actually days off.
yes, or your vacation was a vacation. And now I think everybody, especially if you're elected, you're expected to be on all the time. It's tough shoes to fill. I've done my best in letting people know, hey, that's not the case. I do give people my cell phone number all the time, and people go, why do you do that? I go, because I can choose to answer that or not. I don't have to answer it. But for some people, it overwhelms them. They'll look at my text messages. 887 unread texts from today, 39,000 unread emails. I have every day I get at least 2,500 emails.
Wow.
And that's not including my personal work emails. That's the 39,000. That's gone. So I've sacrificed my stuff.
Right.
I had a friend who was upset because I didn't go to a birthday thing, and it really hurt because I needed some grace. And I said, my God, I opened my Evite thing and I had 9 invitations. 6 of them I had missed the events. And 3 of them I didn't respond to. And one thing I value about the friendships that I've had for a long time are the people who give you grace, who can observe your life from a distance and say, I have no idea how busy you are, and I don't need to know. I know you're my friend if I don't talk to you for a year or if I talk to you every day. And it's okay if you miss a thing here or there. But man, it really bothered me when they were so upset. You missed my birthday thing and you didn't even say. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing now and I want to make up for it. But I am also having to apologize to every constituent who I don't respond to fast enough or whose email I didn't get to at all or who I disagree with and they don't like me. So give me a little grace if I missed your Evite invitation. That's a difficult thing to contend with, but that's just this whole world of technology and being accessible.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I do my videos. I give an update in real time to the community, and they feel more engaged. So it's just that balance.
Yeah, it's a give and take.
You guys have artificial intelligence coming into the police world, policing. The drones are great. The body cams, the license plate readers. I'm sure it's changed the way police.
Oh, police work itself is the same. And my dad was a cop for 30 years before he retired. Yeah, here in Santa Monica. And the only thing that changes are the names and faces, but the crimes, they're still the crimes.
But don't you think you guys can solve things quicker?
Oh, with everything that's happening now?
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely. That's hands down. I mean, my dad even have radios. They had to go to call boxes. Definitely the advancement of technology is huge. And with the drone getting there before we can get there with traffic in a safe manner, if this suspect flees, we can follow and then apprehend. Or even the drone, because we have a sworn officer that flies it. But even that, him seeing what's going on and be able to articulate to us in a language that we understand.
Yeah.
And it's okay, yeah, he's acting off, but he's not an immediate danger to somebody.
Right.
Slow your roll, get there safe. Because the call we're getting, and rightfully so, the person that's watching is just frantic, right? So they're flipping out. They're seeing something that they're not exposed or have ever seen before. But it doesn't require us to put our lights and sirens on and go through intersections and risk those lives. So having that and him be able to either get us there faster or slower, right? Maybe he's hey, okay, now I need to pick it up. Okay, his actions are starting to progress. But then with the new center that we got going on, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet.
Yeah, the crime impact center we talk about all the time.
But okay, so with that new center, the smart center, that's going to be a whole other game changer.
Real time.
And I think
it's CSI. When you're going like this.
Right? Was that the Minority Report?
Minority Report.
But you're not going to get in trouble for something you haven't done yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But just seeing that advancement, especially just in my career alone, has been huge. And it's only going to get better. And the city's only going to get safer. And it's just, I really can't wait for it to be in full effect, which is going to be really soon. And then I think the people in our city will see it. They'll see a drastic increase.
Well, hopefully we go to autonomous drones soon because I went to...
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, I went to Utah. We were looking at the vendors because you'll still have an operator, but you won't need someone to launch it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean.
And we're looking at that too.
Yeah. So I want to let everyone know that we're not replacing police officers because you need human beings.
Oh, you need boots on the ground.
It's augmenting their jobs. And I think that's the key with AI. How can you augment and add to, but not take away? But I will say to any young people out there, I told my kids, think about technology and AI and think about the jobs that can't be replaced by that, at least in the next 20 years. And so you'll see a lot of people going back to trades.
Yeah.
We need people to lay pipe, run electrical cords, run cable. We work in the building and trades industry to build homes, buildings.
And then just people. Just being
we need people to be people.
Right.
To make jokes. And
most of us are in the people business. Right?
Yeah.
Like and a computer can't replace that.
No, I know the whole robot thing. I'm not a fan of, I went to Japan earlier this year on our sister city trip, and I went into a hotel, and there was a robot that checks you in, and you pick your avatar. It's so weird. And I will say though that they did have everything we needed, where you didn't need to engage with a human being. But there's something about those small connections you make. I do something when I travel. I always meet people who are either gonna come to Santa Monica or want to come, and not that long ago, a few months ago, I met some folks in Florida that were going to be traveling through LA, and they'd never been to Santa Monica. And so I said, they said, we've always wanted to go to the pier. So I do a mayor's bag where I get them some stuff from Santa Monica Travel Tourism, and the pier will put some gift cards in there. And I give them a little note to say, welcome to Santa Monica. Here's some beach towels and sunglasses with our logos on it. And I'll buy gift cards from local restaurants and put them in there. Here's a taste of Santa Monica, and I hope you enjoy your visit. But I love that because I stop and talk to people all the time. My kids hate it. My neighbor's daughter, she's my best friend. I love her. Her daughter's always doesn't like to go to the Montana Avenue walk with me. She's going to talk to everybody. But I love people, and I feel like when we take away that interaction and we're not teaching our young people customer service, the value in connecting with people. It's not just about making a sale or making that person's day. It's about learning from other people. You learn about cities and countries you might not have known about. You learn about accents and how to identify where they come from. People always ask me, my husband's like, you're so good with knowing where different accents are from. I'm like, because I worked in sales for so long, and I love talking to people. You actually learn about how people come to be where they are. I don't know. I hope that our kids are still excited about meeting people. I'm raising my kids and sending them to camps outside of the country if I can, to experiences that I didn't get growing up, because I want them to have those interactions and I want them to see the world. I think the best education you could have is travel.
Agreed.
So that's, means we have to live in an apartment forever so we can give our kids that. I think that's more valuable than having a nice staircase and a lazy Susan, although I wouldn't mind having a house in case my husband's listening. And I'm not putting that dream to bed.
On, hook her up.
If anyone wants to, rent their house to me for under $10,000 a month, it is insane, the rents. It's $17,000 a month to rent a home.
That's nuts.
I just don't know how these young kids are going to get out and move into an apartment. Anyways, there's no $380 apartments anymore.
No. And I had a roommate too, so it was even cheaper.
Yeah. God, because we were making $8.50 an hour.
Oh, remember that? I remember
$5.75.
$4.75.
Yeah,
was
$4.75.
my lowest.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when it went to $5.25, I was like,
I know. I was working.
$5.
My first job was at Vaughn's. Back then, it had just opened. I did the sample sales, and then I got hired as a bagger. And then I started working at the warehouse and then Foot Locker. And I worked at warehouse and Foot Locker at the same time.
In the mall?
Yeah.
I remember that.
And they used to pay us at Foot Locker out of the till. And if there wasn't enough cash, the lowest, the person with the least amount of hours would get paid last. So sometimes you wouldn't get paid for a week.
Jesus.
You would never be able to do that. And then I worked for Charles David. I worked for Judy's. I worked for Lucky Brand. Yeah.
My first was Kookaroos.
Kookaroos. Oh my God, I love
Clinton Wilshire,
Kookaroos.
yeah.
And that orange sauce.
Oh, yeah. The basting sauce.
Whatever happened to Kookaroos?
They went out of business. At least here they did.
You weren't wearing a hairnet? Was that what happened?
No, but I would.
You're putting your finger in the basting sauce.
I was not following the portion guide. I was like, there's no way. They're still going to be hungry. So I would always give people extra food. That's just my personality. And then Blockbuster Music.
Blockbuster, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, not Blockbuster Music.
So there's Blockbuster Video.
Oh.
But then there's Blockbuster Music at SM and Yale, I think it was.
Okay, I worked at Warehouse.
Or Wilshire and Yale. somewhere in that area.
Blockbuster was on, the one I went to was on Lincoln and Ocean Park, where the Blick is now.
Yeah. Oh, that's where I went to.
I used to look forward to that. I had a few unpaid dues. It's probably why they shut
Well,
down.
they find you if you didn't rewind the tape.
I know. Rewind the tape.
They have no idea about any of that
before
right now.
CDs.
Well, you have a final message you want to give the people before we head out?
Get engaged. Reach out to your elected officials and ask to spend time with them. Show up to a council meeting. And if you don't want to show up, at least tune in to YouTube. You can Google on YouTube Santa Monica City Council meetings. And just try to get involved, even if that means you're just observing the meetings from a distance. I just hope that everybody finds their place and feels like their voice is being heard. And you can always get a hold of me. If you can't find me at the Santa Monica Music Center or at City Hall, you can email me, you can message me on Instagram, and I always set up coffees and one-on-ones with, or tea or whatever it is that you drink. We can even meet at City Hall, and I'll give you a tour. That was a long message.
No, it's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Thank you for having me,
Thank
Ricky.
you for being here. I can only imagine how busy your phone is right now.
Can I call you Ricky on here?
Of course.
No, everyone's going to call you Ricky. Officer Ricky.
Yeah. If you stayed around this long, then yes, call ahead and call me Ricky.
That was the...
Push out of the way.
Oh.